Everyone has a story, but not every story was told. Here in the Untold, we get the chance to meet a variety of individuals with a variety of talents. I'm your host, Marzouk Saeed, joined by my dear colleague.
I'm Abdullah Al-Hindiani. Thank you, Marzouk, for that lovely introduction. And yeah, the Untold have a lot of variety of people, experiences, journeys from all sorts of fields.
Of course, it's really nice to share them like through, podcasts, through like storytelling.
Yeah.
But there's another form of storytelling that can touch a lot of people, which is filmmaking.
Filmmaking, yeah. People see us just two, and sometimes with the guests, three people in front of the cameras. They don't know there's like seven people behind the cameras, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and the one in charge, the director, is basically the be all and end all, right? He's the or she's the one in charge of everything.
And today we have a special guest who's usually been behind the camera, but today he's gonna be in front of the camera. His name is Badr AlHudaib, a digital creator.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so curious to talk to Better again because this is the second time he has been on the show, and I do want to see if the nerves that got washed away, right? Because he kept saying, usually I'm the one behind the cameras.
Exactly.
I want to see myself in front of the camera. So here's your second shot at it.
Of course, today we're gonna see did he was able to overcome it or not. But I believe he will be. So please join me in this interesting interview with Badr AlHudaib.
And we're back with Badr AlHudaib, who, as you remember from our last conversation, we had to cut the episode short.
Exactly.
But we couldn't, wait to talk to you again. So we brought him again.
It's been a long time, Badr.
Thank
How
you.
you doing?
Wallah, good. How
Do you
about
still
you?
use the same camera or you change
Same.
same
All
camera?
Same, yeah. Same gear, same everything.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's nice to see you guys as well.
Yeah, we are happy to have you again here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And so for the audience who might not remember, you are I would say, video creator. I would say best to just go to your socials because, like we've said earlier, he really has an amazing vision. I'm not just talking
Exactly.
that. I saw his account. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
A lot of beautiful things in your account. And I remember, Abdullah, the first time I got paid for what I'm doing, which is like in terms of public speaking, coaching privately, I was really excited. I was very happy to work with my first professional client. For you, Badr, do you remember the first time you got paid for your work and how did that feel?
Yeah, I did. I was in my house and I sent the quote. I didn't even know how to send quotes. So I remember I did a quotation on my laptop and I sent the quote to the client. In my head, no way she's gonna approve this quote. It was a very small number.
Small number.
Yeah, it was a very small
Did
number.
you like Google? You asked like some of your friends?
No, I just did it. I just put the number and I sent it. It wasn't a big number, but when I got the approval, I remember I was yelling in my room by myself, not because I'm getting this money, but because, wait, my friend's right. You can make money with this.
Yeah.
It's not a big amount, but it could work. And that was a day to remember.
Celebrate, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of people, don't have a grasp of how much it makes you feel happy whenever the thing you've been doing as a hobby, you're now finally getting paid for it.
yeah.
Yeah, especially something you deeply love.
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like.
It's like if you love what you do, you're never gonna work a day in your
Yeah,
life.
I feel it.
Yeah.
I do feel it, and I can tell you, yes, that is true. You don't get the pressure or the heaviness of getting up and going to work. You'd
Yeah.
get up and you'd be excited.
Exactly.
You go to work excited.
Sometimes it could also like add responsibility to you because
Yeah.
now you are working like something professional. It's not like it is a hobby, but now you are taking it into a professional level.
Yes.
So you're gonna be considerate for every details.
Yes.
Responsible for the work that you
Yes.
do on daily basis.
Yes, correct. And that's where the beauty comes in. It's in the details.
Yeah. And it's so admirable that when you're talking about this, you still have so much passion for it. Even though for a lot of people who said that they got into professions that they love, after a while it kind of loses the love and the passion because it becomes routine, it becomes work. But you're so passionate about what you do, which is so, so admirable, like I said.
Thank you.
When was like the turning point for you that switch from a hobby to a career?
when I saw people's feedback on my work, when I kept seeing positive feedback on my work, I knew that okay, because when you do it, you don't know that it's good.
You can the first time you don't understand like the value of it,
You
of
don't,
how heavy it is.
yeah, you don't know that because to you it's easy, because to you you're doing it with
Exactly.
with fun, and to you you're enjoying it, and then other people look at it, they're like, wow, you did this, and then after a while your income from it starts to increase.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah يعني
Alhamdulillah.
على قولتهم توكل عيش. And once that income surpassed the bank's income for a whole year, I was even supposed to get a promotion in the bank and I didn't get it. So I was like, that's a hint from God.
Yeah.
I need to quit. And then I did. It was a very scary moment.
Scary jump.
No, scary moment to quit a very stable job. You have a stable income. And
Exactly.
next thing you know, that income is gone and you're just dependent on your own work. I think that was the biggest.
It's gonna be a lot of pressure.
It was.
How did you manage that pressure during that time? Because I know I've been in that situation. I know how heavy it is. I quit my job from being like a teacher into joining to becoming like a presenter here in TV. But it took time, you know,
Yeah.
like for the D1 to submit your process paper and everything. It took time.
To get
So
that
a lot of pressure, and you have some financial responsibility. For you, how did you survive the storms?
I made sure I had like the whole last year from the bank, I always got work every single month. And the calculation was on point. I used to work double shift, and I used to work from 8 to 1 and then 5 to 7.
Oh.
So 8 to 1, I finish, I go either to meetings, shoots, or I go home and edit. And then 5 to 7, back to work, and then again I go back home 7:30, 8. I stay up from 8 until 2 a.m. back doing the same thing, editing, replying to emails. If I have a shoot, I'd go to the shoot. That was consistent for 2 years. The last year is where the income was steady.
So it took you a while to get back on a steady feet. And I want to ask you, what were the lessons that you learned from those few first projects, especially the paid ones, that kind of helped you to become better, to find yourself in this career?
Don't look at the money.
Yeah.
Just look at the art. Focus on the art. Focus on your product. Learn lighting. I learned lighting. Lighting was one of the most difficult things
It's
in
an
this
art.
field. Yeah, you need to you need to understand it.
Yeah.
Lighting by itself is a whole new category. The beginning of my time, I wasn't really aware of how lighting works. I used to film, and then as I progressed, I used to think there's something off. Something's off with my picture. Something's off with the frame. What is it? I never understood until I understood lighting. And lighting is king.
Yeah.
If you perfect lighting, you're gonna have a beautiful image at the end of the.
Beautiful scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some people like they focus on transition like super quick
Lighting.
and they are cool, you know,
Lighting
and they
is
video
storytelling.
shot and everything,
Yeah.
but they forget or they don't give like lighting a chance.
Yeah, it's you have to have a story, and you need to have a beautiful.
So that's what distinguishes like amateur from a professional one.
Yes,
in your
yeah,
opinion.
definitely, yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's a lot of creators. They're good at what they do. They're really good, but they overuse transitions, like you said, and the video just you get lost in the video. And it's nice. People like it. People
Yes.
like it. But I personally, this is a personal opinion. I think focus on the story, focus on your composition, focus on your lighting, and as long as you have something to say, it will be nice.
Yeah.
It'll be definitely
And
nice.
honestly, I was listening to a podcast with Roger Deakins. So he's one of I would say, the best cinematographers of the century, basically. He
Okay.
made movies like Blade Runner, the latest one.
But he was the one who made Blade Runner.
He's the cinematographer.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
so No Country for Old Men, the assassination of Jesse James.
Yeah.
So in the podcast, he said, if you ever find a shot that you say it looks ugly, it's probably because of the lighting.
Yeah, the
That's-
100%.
Yeah, that's how important
Yeah.
lighting is for everything.
صح.
Yeah.
That is key. That's why I always say, I was saying, lighting is king.
Of
It
course.
beats everything else.
Lightning, compositions,
Yeah.
and also like transition. All of that fills into the creative vision that the videographer have.
Yes.
So how could you like build this trust with your client to believe in your art or to believe in the vision that you have for them?
That was a challenge too.
'Cause I know that some clients could be very picky. No, I want it this way, this way.
Yeah.
They have some details, but you of course have like a total different vision.
And a lot of them have ugly visions as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So hard to maneuver.
I think it's really hard to send your imagination to the client. That's something I used to suffer with, and that's something that clients wouldn't trust me with, because when I tried to explain it, they wouldn't understand it. Their imagination wasn't up to what I want them to be, or maybe I had lack of communication skills. But as time progressed, I learned how to do a director's treatment. I learned how to do pitches. I learned how to do storyboards, shot lists, and this really gets the client zoomed in, and he really understands what you are trying to portray or say, to avoid any back and forth. And alhamdulillah, I think lately it's been working out. They trust the vision.
process.
Yeah, they trust the process. I always
good.
say trust the process.
And you know, this can segue into my next question, because I do want to ask you, because now, mashallah, I would consider you a professional.
Thank you.
So how has your technique, shifted or changed from back when you were first beginning?
When I first started, it was more of run and gun. So I would just go shoot whatever there is, and then I would let the editing do the work. So just bulk shoot, go back home, let the editing do the work. As we
Whatever
see.
happen.
Yeah,
No storyboard, no planning.
Nothing. You cook. You just sit there and you see, you mix the ingredients, and then that works. That sometimes works.
There's a beauty in there, right?
That like for travel content, travel
Vlogging.
videography, it works. Travel, like cinematic travel videos, it works. Events, that works 100%. But I think I've took a turn from that area, and I'm more of into planning. I think the prep process is the best and the most critical part in my work right
Working
now.
with the
So
client.
there's a lot of paperwork involved before the shoot. So I think the planning definitely came into my life intensely, and it has changed the way that I work.
Of course, planning is an important rule in order to make sure that your work align with the client's perceptions or like expectations. So talking about client, take us to the journey of your work with the client, like from day-to-day basis, from the idea to the work itself to the final result.
So first thing is the client would approach. Depending on the client, he would either have an idea or he wants an idea. So I would pitch him an idea. If he gets the approval, we move on to the director's treatment. The director's treatment goes through different things: the concept, the ideation, the reference shots, the storyboard, the color palette, the mood. So there's a lot of categories that go under the director's treatment, and we use this so that the director, the client can imagine with us what we're trying to send or what we're trying to achieve in this.
Nice.
Gives him a nice vision.
Yes.
Once that's done, we get the approval, we move on to the storyboard.
Okay.
Storyboard, we lay it out. Client sees it, we walk him through it. What's gonna happen? Shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The purpose of this and that and that, and then proceed.
Yeah, so the storyboard is not entirely it's just a plan. You can sometimes leave the storyboard. You can do things outside of the storyboard, but it's a nice thing to have a plan. Once we're done with the storyboard, we move on to the team. You start to get the team together.
Of course, I'm working with the team. There's of course a lot of details in that, but we're gonna go deep to it after a quick break. So stay tuned.
And we're back with AlHudaib, who's a content creator, videographer, cinematographer. Is that the word?
Cinematographer.
Cinematographer. Yeah, I knew I got that wrong. Yeah, because I keep thinking it's film, it's cinema. There's a word with iffy. I was like, what is the word? So I'm just gonna go, just wing it.
We can make it your word.
We can make it our words. Yeah, it's cinematography now. Well, I'd like to thank you and welcome you again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
it's our
It's an
pleasure,
absolute
actually.
pleasure. Thank you so much.
Sometimes, like Abdullah, working in such a field, you could wear a lot of hats, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you be the director, sometimes you be like the one who plan, sometimes you be the actor maybe, and sometimes you be the one who film the shot itself. which part do you play the most?
I was solo. When I was solo, I did everything.
Everything.
When you're solo, you do everything. You're the filmmaker, you're the planner, you're the marketer, you're the DOP, colorist, editor, sound design.
Inshallah,
You're all in
multi-talented.
one. You're all in one. But honestly, this is what makes you stand out. So you get an idea of everything. You know how the
course.
whole process works, from sitting with the client till final submission of the final product, customer service, how you deal with the client, how you take feedback, you work. I think one of the most important things is customer service too. But right now, I'm aiming more towards directing.
Directing.
Yeah, so directing is my go-to at the
But
moment.
do you still approach it now as a solo work, or do you have like delegate all of the work to different people?
Depending on the budget.
Yeah.
If the budget can be enough to hire a team, I'll
Yeah.
definitely hire a team.
Yeah.
Because with a team, it's better to have someone doing their task properly rather than you thinking of 100 tasks at once, because you might mess it up. But when you
Yeah.
have each person that's delegated to a certain job, you're more likely to get a better result out of it.
Yeah.
It's like the proverb that we have in Kuwait that says, صاحب البعدين كذاب.
Basically,
The one
yeah,
with two minds is kind of like a liar.
100%.
You cannot focus on two things at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like when you're working with a team, I know it could be kind of challenging picking up the team who's gonna work with. So is there like a specific criteria that you go through?
I went through a couple of people. I think I have a couple people right now that I'm comfortable working with. I think you just have to find someone that you can deal with on a professional level, and they won't give you a headache. Personally, if you're not that good, but you're easy to deal with, I can, or we can work together to increase your knowledge.
Professionality.
Yeah, but if you're very good and you're hard to deal with, that's not someone you want to deal with.
It's
So
like
I think,
communication is a key here.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think I gathered a good group of people that I'm comfortable working with.
That's really awesome.
To
So
projects.
what about personal projects? Do you approach like personal projects the same way you approach your clients, or is there a difference there?
I think personal projects, you have much more freedom,
Yeah.
much more freedom, control. You can do whatever you want to do. There's no one guiding you or
Yeah.
telling you, I need to market this or this or this. So if you get an idea in your head and you do it and you execute it, you have full control over the mood, the colors, the song, the story. So at the end of the day, it's just you versus you. However, when you're working with a client, you have someone over you.
Yeah.
You have someone who's gonna tell you yes, no. And that's why sometimes you have ads or like movies, let's say, where there's the movie and then there's a director's cut.
Director's script. Yeah.
Director's cut is where you, as a director, think this best works.
Yeah.
Because it's art at the end of the day.
Yeah, things like that happen. Sometimes like often, sometimes maybe minimum. Depends on the project itself,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. 100%.
But also the funny thing about director's cut is that there was a director, I forgot his name, but he made the movie called Donnie Darko.
Okay.
And the movie was accepted and was successful for so many years. But the director was like, that's not the movie I made. And so for so many years, he was like, no, just release my cut, my
Copy.
version of the movie. And the funny thing is that when they released the director's cut, it was way worse than the actual movie.
Really?
Yeah. And then everyone was like, okay, sometimes director's cut should stay in the working room. Yeah.
I think we all see it differently. And again, it's art.
Yeah.
He might see it as wow, other people might see it as not that good.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
my work, people might see it as wow, other people might be like, شغلة so basic, you know.
Yeah, like honestly,
Just opinion.
yeah,
Personal
because,
taste. Yeah.
oh, yeah, it's personal taste because I did work sometimes, I would say, as a freelance writer. And a lot of people, I'm gonna be blunt about it, ذوقهم خايس, you know. But you gotta work with it. You gotta be
Yeah.
like, okay, I gotta work around this. You know, you have a vision. How can I make that beautiful?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's taste.
Exactly.
Taste at the end of the day. It's taste.
So, and that also like segue to misconception regarding like any work you do. Some people might not like understand what's happening behind the scene, or they have like some misunderstanding
Yeah.
about the work you do. I remember when Abdullah was like an English teacher. Okay, they think it's my responsibility to make the student like an excellent student or like one of the productive students.
Yeah.
But it's a collaboration between school, between parents, between also like the teacher himself. That's one misconception. So what are some misunderstanding or misconception that people see in your work? Or maybe like when it comes to a videographer?
People think it's just a press of a button.
Like it's easy work, huh? Just put the camera frame right, press.
Why are you charging this much? It's just a button.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Yeah,
And a lot of
button.
photographer, also like videographer, complain about this.
yeah.
They think it's only about the gear, but it's not the gear. There's also like some tricks. Sometimes you could have like the perfect camera,
صح
but you're not gonna have the perfect shot.
صح. I got him. It's the driver. It's not the car.
Yeah.
It's the driver. So the driver.
You know, this kills me the most at family gatherings and anniversaries because I see, you know, the small kids, whatever, whenever they take photos of the family, they have the entire composition is just headroom. And I just want to say that's an ugly composition. But of course, you can't be saying that, right? You got to be like, oh, that's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
So there are some rules in composition that you gotta follow.
It
Yeah.
also like remind me when you hang out with your friends and you have like a videographer or photographer, he's gonna take the good photo of you, but when it comes to his turn, you don't have like the basics, so you're gonna take
Terrible
like
photo. Terrible photo. Absolutely.
Does that usually happen with you? Like when you hang out with your friends?
Yeah, 100%. Family gatherings. I once took a. Every time I have a family gathering, we'd sit down and my family. So
Group
take a
photo, huh?
picture of us. I'm like,
Who's
okay.
gonna take group photo? Better.
It's a group photo. عادي. There's nothing to it. Take a group photo. Oh, looks amazing. Yes, for sure, looks amazing. Time passes by. They're like, better let him take a photo. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a bad photo. And then I gave so much headspace. Oh, it looks amazing. I'm like, أي شيء يمشي معاهم. كله يوم.
And you know, this is a great segue for our next question is that what kind of project excites you the most? You know, you're getting dozens of projects. How do you pick?
Based on how much creative control I have and if the idea itself is something that I like. I need to have something that attracts me and goes down to how the client is trying to say the message. Some clients are afraid of taking risks. I think the riskier you are with creativity, the better the reach is going to be. But a lot of, in our market here, people are afraid to take risks. They're really afraid. So the riskier and the more creative it is, the more likely I'm going to accept it.
Yeah.
I don't like something very basic.
For those who are like afraid to take risk or failing when they are being creative, what kind of message you would like to give to them?
Trust the process. Trust your vision. Trust your vision. There's been so many times where I start a project and I'm thinking like, is this gonna go well? Is this gonna go well? Is it like I doubt. There's this self-doubt midway or during the shoot, and then I just in my head I'm like, trust the process. And then by the time I'm submitting the product, I'm like, yep, you should always trust the process. So
When you first get like the feedback from the client, like a positive one, it's like a reward, I believe, for you.
this is what makes me motivated. This is what I thrive on, is the feedback of the
Feedback.
client. Yeah. So if he's happy, I'm so happy. I'll be so happy. And then if I show people my work, I'd look at their face, and what I hope to see is
Smile.
how their face slowly goes from this to slowly smiling.
Yeah.
Smiling. I love that feeling.
Was
I
there a
love-
moment when the opposite happened? They
uh,
went from this to.
Yeah. Yes, which is normal. It's normal. It's art. Some people like it, some people don't.
And how do you deal with that?
عادي. That's
Simple.
fine. It's okay. You
Part of
have
the
your own
process.
taste.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, you have your own taste. Everybody has their own taste, you know. And if you don't like it, I'll relax. I'll listen to what you have to say. Why do you not like it? You know, I love what's the word?
Constructive feedback.
Constructive criticism. I love it. Constructive criticism is something that gets me thinking of how can I improve? How can I make it nicer?
So would you say that that's the most rewarding aspect of your job is the actual feedback, seeing people, how they react, or the actual work itself, you know, the filming, the shooting, the planning?
I think the reward
Oh.
is when I look at the client's feedback, but the joy comes in the process. That's where I find joy. But what's my reward is when I see the client happy, or when I see the person who is looking at the content happy.
Yeah.
That's where I find joy.
And it's funny because this is kind of the same for cooking. Whenever I cook, basically the first thing you want to see is people's reactions. And, you know, for me personally, the reactions are always bad. but it's always, planning, striving to get that final smile.
Yeah, صح
Yeah,
صح
it's,
صح.
it's honestly unrivaled feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe for our next host, we should bring like a chef, so I can give you some secrets.
I mean, hopefully, yeah, because I'm tired of always being given bad ingredients. I'm like, it's their fault, not mine.
So whether let's imagine that you and I, okay, and Abdullah as well, we were walking on a line, and there was like Aladdin lighter, okay. You grab the lighter, the genie showed up, and he said he gonna give you unlimited money, unlimited time to work on a project. What project he will work on?
Ooh, very very beautiful imagination يعني. I don't want to say what I want to say because I'm not ready for what it is, which is to do a big movie. So I'm gonna be humble and say to do a short movie.
Show movie.
I would love to do a short movie. I'd love to do a comedy.
Comedy one.
I would love to.
That's
do
your
comedy.
taste.
I love comedy. I'm right now. I'm aiming towards comedy more. I'm enjoying it. I laugh as I'm looking at it. If I'm editing, I would laugh like an idiot, and then that's where I find joy.
You have unlimited budget. Who's the actor you're gonna bring to the movie?
You.
Me?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one. As a comedian,
What kind of comedies, though, are you
I
enjoying
love
most?
I love dark comedy. I'd say dark comedy. I like you see how Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
There's like comedy, but if you catch it,
Yeah,
you catch. If you don't, it's خلاص انت.
yeah.
That's what I like. I like comedy of whether you إذا صدت إذا ما صدت
Yeah.
خلاص.
Well, I could give you a list of those. Yeah. Because I do like, comedies, dark comedies as well.
yeah.
Same genre.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I would like to take that list from you.
I mean, all people here, and I'm sure everyone is sighing behind the cameras because if I start talking about movies, I'm not going to shut up.
Yeah.
So I think we just got the cue that I have to shut up because unfortunately, we did reach the end of our time on the Untold.
شرفنا. It was absolute pleasure. Thank
course.
you for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It was a
honestly,
great
this was amazing because I believe you're one of the first people who actively film and shoot stuff, in this field that we've had on the show. And I really did love having you here.
Yeah.
Thank
we
you
enjoyed
so
our
much.
time with you, Badr, and
Thank
we
you.
wish you and your also like team a continuous success in the future, and hopefully one day we get the chance to see your movie happening not only in theater of Kuwait but worldwide.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you guys. I
Inshallah.
appreciate it.
And now, dear viewers, we're gonna take a quick break and then we're gonna be back.
Fortunately, we've reached the end of the Untold. This was another amazing episode, I would say.
It was filled with stories, filled with unexpected moments, failure, and also success story.
Yeah. And honestly, we've made the same mistake we did on the previous episode with Bedir. As soon as we got into talking about movies, we unfortunately reached the end of the screen time we got allowed. So I did take the opportunity to talk to him behind the cameras, and he has a wide range of information on movies, cameras, and everything.
Yeah, he seemed very passionate about the work he's doing, and I like when he took the courage to switch from one job to another.
Yeah, honestly, it was so, admirable the way he said that it took a huge leap, right? Because he had a steady job, he was very established in his work, but then he was like, I don't want to see myself 50 years from now in the same seat, in the same place. And then he quit his job, basically going on a blind, pursuit of something else, which eventually worked for him. So yeah, amazing.
Yeah, good luck for Badr. And life is really short to live only for something like for a financial or stable life. Life gonna be much more amazing if you follow your passion. And that's what Badr AlHudaib did today. And he proved to become one of the greatest videographer in his field. Until next time, work on your passion, and we're gonna see you in the next episode.